McLane's core operating margins have dropped about 50% from where they've generally been since acquisition. Could you elaborate on the competitive pressures in the grocery and convenience store distribution business that have caused the deterioration in profits? And do you expect the margin structure of that business to eventually get back to where it was, or is this the new normal?
Well, I don't know the answer to the second part about the future, but there's no question that the margins have been squeezed. They were very, very narrow. As you know, they were about 1 cent on the dollar pre-tax, and they've been squeezed from that. Payment terms get squeezed, and in some cases we have fairly long-term contracts on that, so it'll go on for 5 years of one, and then it's a very, very tight margin business. And the situation's even worse than you portray, because within McLane we have a liquor distribution business in a few states, and that business has actually increased its earnings moderately, and we've added to that business. So within McLane's figures are about 70 million or so pre-tax from the liquor part that have nothing to do with the massive part you're talking about in terms of food distribution. So it's even, the decline is even greater in what you're referring to than you've noticed, and that's just become very, very much more competitive, and we have to decide. You'll look at our competitors and they're not making much money either, and that's capitalism. I think there comes a point where the customer says, I'll only pay X, and you have to walk away, and there's a great temptation when you're particularly employing thousands of people, and you build distribution facilities and all of that sort of thing, take care of them, to meet what you'd like to term as irrational competition. But that is capitalism, and you're right. The earnings went up quite a bit from the time we bought it, and we're still earning more than then, and we've earned a lot of money over time. But as they say, a fair amount of that is actually coming from liquor distribution activities in about 4 states that we purchase, very well run, and we will do our best to get the margins up. But I could not give you a really, your guess is almost as good as mine, or better than mine maybe, as to what margins will be in that distribution business 5 years from now. It's a very essential service. We do $40-some billion, and we move more of the product of all kinds of companies that names are known to you than anybody else. But when you get Kraft Heinz, for that matter, or Philip Morris, or whomever it may be, on one side of the deal, and you get Walmart and some other 7-Eleven on the other side of the deal, sometimes they don't leave you very much room in between. Charlie?
I think you've described it very well.
Okay. Station 4.
Good morning, Charlie and Warren.